Hey everybody, and welcome to Todd's 10. That's right, holy moly, that's right folks, I am Todd Kiper Berman Jr. and I'll come at you live with Todd's 10. That's right, we're back again for the Week 7 preview of Dan Ingram's league. That's right folks, we made it to Week 7. Congratulations, we have made it here. I'm adjusting the camera, felt like I needed a little bit more headroom. The surprise of this week, I'm going to be trying to keep this balloon afloat the entire time while doing the preview. So let's get right into it folks. Let's get right into the power rankings from this week. Of course provided by the commish, Dan Ingram himself. In first place, the Fresh Prince of Hilaire holding the spot down. Second place, Return of the Walrus. Third place, Slater and Goldstein. Fourth place, Little Deuce Coops. In the fifth place, moving down, despite a victory, is the Robert Kraft defense team. 6, Trump Train. 7, Super Spreader. 8, Screwed Up and Drafted Odell. 9, Sprunk Football Team. Name change did not work well for him this week. 10, Cactus Jack sent him to the bottom of the standings. That's right. Then we have the Swiss Cheese Matrix coming in at number 11. And 12, the Count of Chicago. That's right, folks. So let's hop right into the matchups here. That's right. We're talking about the Swiss Cheese Matrix. Again, the best named team in the league, and a name inspired by Todd Kiper Berman Jr. himself. The ball is down. The ball is down. The ball is up. The ball is up. All right. So anyways, the matchup this week. Jesus Christ. Maybe this isn't even a good idea as I initially had planned. All right, looking at the matchup here. We have Aaron Rodgers going up against Cam Newton in the quarterback position. Aaron Rodgers, of course, holding down the fort for Swiss Cheese Matrix. Cam Newton holding down the fort for the Prince of Hilaire, our number 1 team versus our number 11 team. And it's actually predicted to be an upset this week, folks. That's right. We have Swiss Cheese Matrix predicted to win at 109.3 to 108.1 for Cameron Herman. This is a surprise, and why is that a surprise? Well, it's because, like I said, it's number 1 and 11 team. This balloon is not working. Let's just do the frickin' football. Alright? Let's focus on the football. Let's do the stat. That's what Todd Kiper Berman does. He focuses on football, he wins championships, and he projects victories. So who am I predicting this week? Looking at the running back position for the Swiss Cheese Matrix, we have David Johnson, Devontae Freeman going up against Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Chris Carson. I like the matchup here. How much of an impact does Le'Veon Bell have in Claire? I think it's a little bit of an impact. I think it's a little bit of an impact. A little bit of an impact. Not a minor impact, a fender bender. But anyways, I do think give the advantage there, the running back position to Cameron Herman. Quarterback position, big day for Aaron Rodgers going up against Houston. Looking at the receivers, tight ends, and flex, Tyler Lockett, Julio Jones, Mr. Tanya, and Terry McLaurin going for Cham Hummel and the Swiss Cheese Matrix. The spoon is real. There is no spoon. Is it bending to the right? Is it bending up and down? Is it Neo? Is it Morpheus? Is it Trinity? Is it the Holy Trinity? Is that what he has here with Lockett, Jones, McLaurin? Is it the Holy Trinity of receivers? We'll find out this week. Looking at the receivers here for Cameron Herman, Allen Robinson, T. Higgins, George Kittle, Robert Woods. Good. A lot of people projecting big things from T. Higgins this week. I am not one of those people. I think the advantage definitely goes to the Swiss Cheese Matrix, putting holes in that 5-1 record, Tom Hummel. Looking at the defense here, Saints defense going up against Carolina, Chiefs defense going up against Denver. Drew Lock probably due for an interception, M-I-Z-Z-O-U. Zane Gonzalez going against Coop. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick the Swiss Cheese Matrix. I keep picking him every week. I'm hoping he pulls through. I love the team name, love the team spirit, love that he keeps throwing out trades. I don't like any of the trades he sends, but they're trades nonetheless. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of all the effort he's put in this year. Trying not to get last place, trying to do a little dunk, dip, and dive. That's right, a dip and dot into a frozen lake. Trying not to do a Mark Flower. That's what it's now going to be called. If Mark Flower unfortunately ends up where he currently is in the standings, a flower dunk. Anyways, looking at it here, Return of the Walrus going to get back against the Sprunk Football Team, projected 107 for Matt Skolterman. Sprunk projected at 118.1. This would be a bit of an upset. Our top 2 teams in the league are projected to lose this week. Let's see if that's going to continue over in Todd's 10 picks. Looking at it here, quarterback position, Justin Herbert going up against Josh Allen. Allen got a juicy matchup, that's right, a medium rare steak kind of matchup going against the New York Jets, although Herbert himself probably has a medium matchup. If you're ordering a steak at a restaurant, don't ever order medium well. Don't order well done. The chefs hate that. They hate you. They're going to spit in your food. That's a little insider information. That's what Todd Kiper Berman Juice brings to you. Insider information. Again, a medium rare to a rare matchup for Josh Allen this week. So quarterback position advantage to Nate Sprunk. Looking at the running back position, though, James Robinson, Darrell Henderson Jr. versus DeAndre Swift, Devin Singletary. Gotta think DeAndre Swift gonna have a nice game again against Atlanta. Really had a breakthrough week this week, breaking through the walls, breaking down barriers, breaking through things, all kinds of crazy stuff he's breaking. Detroit, tough city. Anyways, looking at it here, I'm gonna give the advantage though, despite the projections. I think Singletary's going to have a nice week against Jets. Swift continues through with his advantage against Atlanta. I think the advantage there is going to go to Nathan Sprunk. Congratulations to you. Look in the wide receiver position here. Kenny Galladay, A.J. Brown, Darren Waller, Keelan Cole Sr. going against Calvin Ridley, Devontae Adams, Jared Cook, and Stephon Diggs. Big week for Goldman not having Justin Jefferson. Somebody Brett Kohler is this craved, desired, gone after. It's like a nicotine addiction. Needs that cig, needs that pull, needs that something. Kohler wants him. Kohler's never going to get it. He has to give up the idea that he's ever going to have Justin Jefferson on his team. It's just not going to happen. We're bringing back the balloon, folks. We're going to see what happens here. But anyways, looking at the matchups here, I think the definite advantage is going to go to Sprunk again because he's got Calvin Ridley, Jared Cook, and Stephon Diggs. Again, a holy trinity kind of thing in receivers. I think Adams has a big day against Houston. Ridley has even a bigger day against Detroit. And Diggs, I love he's playing so many Bills against the Jets. The Jets are awful. The Jets stink. If you were to put them, they're like a Gruyere cheese. You open the bag and it's just like, what am I smelling? What am I eating? What is this? Should I eat this? Should I put this in my mouth? I know I'm going to have digestive problems. I know I'm probably going to have something coming out the back end. That's what the Jets are. They're just something coming out of your back end. They stink. They're bad. They're awful. Nice play there with so many Bills. I think it's really going to pay off for Sprunk this week. So as you can probably guess from all my predictions so far, I think the Sprunk football team goes to 4-3. Return to the Walrus unfortunately goes down. I usually don't pick against the Walrus. I think they have a great squad, great owner, great leader, former champion Max Goldman. I think, I usually don't pick against him, but this week I am. I'm going with Nathan Sprunk's team. Looking at the next team here, that's right, we're going to the next matchup. Next matchup, Slater and Goldman. Going against the Trump train. That's right, we got Slater and Goldman going against the Trump train. A lot of trash talking, a lot of Malin bashing this week. That's right, Slater and Goldman's team is actually done by Malin. You would think it'd be either managed by Slater or Goldman, but that's where he gets you. That's where his name is tricky. He's a trickster. He's the Riddler. He's the jokester. Is he a winner this week? Let's find out, folks. Still haven't actually clicked on the game. And there we go. So looking at the quarterback matchup here, we got Tom Brady going for Jordan Malin, Deshaun Watson going for David Kolb. Trump train is actually not favored this week. 101.7 to 104.3. Not sure exactly where all the trash talking is coming from, but I do give the quarterback advantage here to the Trump train. Again, I hate to keep referencing steak, but I think Deshaun Watson's got a nice juicy matchup going up against the Green Bay Packers here, and I think he's going to have to succeed. Tom Brady going against Vegas. Buccaneers looked good last week. Can it continue up? Consistency has been the problem for them this year. Will that consistency continue over into Vegas? Of course, there is the Vegas flu. You got to watch out for that. All the hotels are back open. All the strippers are up and at him on the corner. Watch out for that for Tom. I know he's dating Giselle, but this guy, he's Tom Brady. He can do whatever he wants. He gets away with stuff. Will he get away? Will Malin get away with playing Brady this week? Looking at the running back matchup here. Okay. Joe Mixon, Boston Scott going against Derrick Henry and Phillip Lindsay. It's really a battle of Lindsay versus Henry. I think you got to go Henry. He's an absolute tank right now. Advantage Trump train. Look in the wide receiver position. Will Fuller, Tyler Boyd, Travis Kelce, Julian Edelman going for Jordan Malin. Mr. DJ Moore, AJ Green, Austin Hooper, and Jerry Jeudy for David Cole this week. And that's why I think Malin's team takes the advantage. I think that's where, if you're working in soccer or something like that, or golf, or like a head-to-head golf match, the WCGC, that like matchup play, I think that's really what you got to focus on there, is the wide receiver position. That's four players that Malin, I think, definitely has the advantage with. Look at it here. Will Fuller, going to have a nice day. Tyler Boyd, going to have a nice day. Travis Kelce always has a nice day. Julian Edelman, I think, has a nice bounce-back week against the San Francisco 49ers secondary, which is dinged up. AJ Green is old. Austin Hooper is nothing. He plays for the Browns. Moore will probably have a nice day. Judy probably going to get shut down by the honey badger. That's right, the honey badger, not only does he eat honey, but he eats other badgers. He eats wide receivers for breakfast. That's what he does, and I think Judy's got a tough matchup. This is where it gets interesting because Jordan Malin is favored to win, and he's not even starting a defense, folks. That's how confident he is in his team this week. I think he's really confident in his team. I think he's going to go defenseless. He's defenseless. I don't think he needs a defense. I think he's going to win this game because of that, and that's right, folks. That's my prediction. Slater and Goldman moves to 5-2. Trump train, unfortunately, falls to 2-5. Playoff chances slipping out of their hands, just like this balloon is really slipping out of this TV show. So moving on to the next matchup, folks. That's right. After the cartwheel, everything has just gone haywire. Hungry Dogs Run Faster. We got a name change, folks. He's back after a big season with this name, I believe a couple seasons ago. He's bringing the name back. This is a guy who gets on your name changes a lot. Dan Ingram, what are you doing? We always change names, and you give a shit about it. Even if we just tinker with it a little bit, you're bringing back an oldie. Is it a goodie? Let's find out here. Little Deuce Coops Can we have a nice victory this week? Dan Ingram, let's see what he does. Big matchup. This is what I'm going to call the matchup of the week. Lots depending on this game, and it's a high projected game. High points projected in this game. Let's see if that continues on, because Cactus Jack has put up a couple of stinkers, a couple of dog poos, a couple of little dog poos on the curb where you not pick them up in the green bag, throw them away, throw them in the trash, and that's what happens. Anyways, looking at the matchup here. Russell Wilson going up against Arizona, Matthew Stafford going against Atlanta. Again, both juicy matchups here, but I do like Russell Wilson. He's the MVP so far this season. Gotta like having the MVP on your roster. Was once offered a Brett Kohler in the trade, turned him down, needed Mostert. Mostert got hurt. Wasn't the most best idea. Wasn't the most. Anyways, of course, this week brought to you by Monster Energy, also brought to you by Brett Kohler's new song, released on Spotify. That's right, almost over 2,000 streams in less than a week. Check it out. Olivia, check out Easy to Cry, over 150,000 streams on that song. It's a really good little tune, little shameless self-promotion there. Anyways, looking at the running back position here, Kenny and Drake going Josh Jacobs versus Aaron Jones and James Conner. Man, I really like those running backs for Little Deuce Coupe. I think he's going to have a really nice day with those guys. Drake and Jacobs are going to have a good days as well, but I think Jones and Conner have better days, and that's what you need. I've seen better days. I've been the star of many plays. A famous line from a 90s song. Can't remember the band, can't remember who it was. Probably a one-hit wonder, probably at least a two-hit wonder, maybe a three-hit wonder. Gosh knows, somebody named that band. Put it in the comments section. Would love to hear who it was. But looking at the wide receiver position, DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, Jonnu Smith, Jerick McKinnon for Dan Ingram, Tyreek Hill, Robbie Anderson, Jimmy Graham, Ronald Jones Jr. for Mike Zimmerman. Wow, this is tough. Just looking at it here, DK versus Tyreek is probably the matchup with the wide receiver matchup of the week. Love it. Love to see what happens. Anderson has become a huge target for Teddy Two Gloves. Teddy Two Gloves loves himself some Robbie Anderson. Look for a deep ball, look for a fade, look for a slant, look for a post, look for a curl, look for an out, look for an in. I think I've named most of the routes on the route tree. There's also the comeback route. That's where you go forward and then you come back, just like I did there on the screen. I think he has a nice day for Carolina. Looking at the tight end position, Jonnu Smith is questionable, but if he does play, I do think he has a better matchup than Jimmy Graham. The flex position is where it gets really interesting. Jones coming off 2 huge weeks for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but Leonard Fournette's back in the lineup. How much does that impact Jones' stock? We will see this week. I think he has a nice day in Vegas. I'm going to give the advantage to Little Deuce Coups there. Looking at the defense here, Buccaneers going up against Vegas, Bears going against the Rams. I think that Rams game is going to be low scoring, so I think the Bears are going to have a nice day. So as you can tell, besides really the Metcalf and Russell Wilson advantage, I think Little Deuce Coups has the advantage here. They're going to move to 4-3 this week. Hungry Dogs faster, unfortunately, falls to 2-5. Still in playoff contention, but it's getting farther away. It's like an oasis. When you see the water, you keep walking, and it just never comes. As you can see, I'm still walking. Haven't found the water. Will Little Hungry Dogs run faster, find the playoffs? We do not know. But let's move on to the next matchup. Our next matchup here, of course, is going to be the Super Spreader versus I screwed up and drafted Odell, as mentioned in the power rankings. And it seems like he might have screwed up and drafted Odell again. Not having a couple weeks, Super Spreader also had a couple bad weeks, losing Dalvin Cook. Now Dalvin Cook on a bye. Let's see how he bounces back. Looking at the matchup here, Patrick Mahomes going against Denver in the snow. Gotta like that matchup, but you gotta like Kyler Murray against Seattle more. Kirk Cousins had a nice day against Seattle. So what can Kyler Murray do? I think Kyler Murray has the advantage there. Advantage for Dylan Crane. Projections, of course, though. Let's look at that real quick. Let's flash back. Let's do a little bounce back. Like in elementary school, when you're on those big bouncy balls, you bounce forward, you bounce backwards. We're bouncing backwards and looking at the scores here. 113.4 projected for Shane Warmouth. 115.6 projected for Dylan Crane. Let's see if I agree with those projections. Look at the running back position. Todd Gurley, Antonio Gibson versus Ezekiel Elliott and Josh Jackson. Will Zeke hold on the ball? That is the question of the week. And you know what? I don't know if he's going to. We have actually, oh wow. Swiss Cheese Matrix has just proposed me a trade mid taping. This is something we've never had before, folks, so you can tell I'm obviously jacked up. Sprunk, I've sent you a trade. Look at your lineup, dude. I sent you a trade. It's a fair trade. It's a 2-for-1. Just take it, okay? Anyways, looking at this trade, let's do a little trade analysis. We got James White for Travis Fulgham. Not even sure who that is, Hummel. Not even sure who that is. Don't know if he's good. Don't know if he's going to be any good. Don't know if I want him on my team. I like my running backs. I kind of need James White this week in my flex position. We're going to look at that a little bit later on. Of course, he's a great PPR play. But I love getting trades live. Send them live. I usually record around noon, Pacific Standard Time. Send them in. Let's talk about them. Let's diagnose them. Let's have a weekly radio show. I like to have callers in. I love to have people talk. I love to, not have to do this the whole time myself. But I love anchoring myself, so it's a little bit of a ipso facto kind of thing. But anyways, back to the matchups here. Because that's what we do. Tom, that was a nice trade. I'll have to think about it. Probably won't, but I'll have to. Anyways, Todd Gurley, Antonio Gibson versus Zeke Elliott and Josh Jackson again. I'm going to give you a running back advantage to Shane Warmouth here. I like what Gurley's doing in Atlanta. Gibson's been a star so far in Washington in his rookie year. And who knows if Zeke's going to hold on the ball. He does have a good matchup against the Redskins, but I don't think it's good enough. The Cowboys defense is also bad, and Gibson plays for the Redskins, so I think I'm actually, like I said, I'm going to go Shane Warmouth here with the running back position. Looking to wide receivers, got a pair of New York guys for Shane Warmouth. Darius Slayton and Jamison Crowder, both different teams, same stadium, different teams. Confusing. New York. Its name's so nice, you say it twice. Also in the tight end position, Hunter Henry, Michael Thomas in the flex position. He's back. He's finally back for Shane Warmouth when he gets Cook back. The Mahomes, Thomas, Cook combination could be lethal. We're going to call that the MTC. That's right, the MTC combination. When will it come back? We don't know. But he has Thomas back in line this week, so that's interesting for him. Looking at the wide receivers, 4 screwed up and drafted Odell. Of course, we have Odell Beckham Jr., DeAndre Hopkins, Dalton Schmidt, Schultz, and Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't like Juju's matchup against Tennessee. That's a tough matchup, tough defense. Don't think he's going to be seeing a lot of targets this week. I think Washington's going to see some balls. Deontay Johnson's going to see some balls. You're going to see some balls thrown to Chase Claypool, who's really emerged the past couple weeks. Too many targets to go around. I don't think he's going to have a big week, so I'm going to give you advantage to... I can't. I'm going to give it to Crane here because I like Hopkins, I like Beckham Jr. Although Crowder and Slayton are good, Crowder's got a tough matchup against Buffalo. Schultz will have a nice day against Washington. I'm going to give the advantage there to Dylan Crane. Looking at the defenses here, we got 49ers going against the Patriots, who I think is a nice play. Giants going up against Philadelphia. I'm going to give the advantage to the 49ers there. I think they're going to have a nice day against the Patriots. Cam hasn't looked quite himself in the past couple of weeks. COVID, unfortunately, good thing he pulled through. Happy to see him back on the field. But unfortunately hasn't looked himself. That people are starting to figure out that New England offense a little bit. Overall, though, I'm going to have to go with the projections. I'm going to have to go up with screwed up and drafted Odell. I think Dylan Crane moves to 4-3. Super Spreader moves to 3-4. But I wouldn't be surprised if he goes the other way. This is a game probably with the biggest playoff implications. The size of an elephant. You know, that's how big this is. Elephants, several tons. This game has several tons of impact on the playoff picture. So let's see how it turns out this week. Exciting to see this matchup. This would be one. This would probably be matchup of the week 1B, maybe even 1A. Maybe I screwed up and named the matchup of the week earlier. Maybe a little too early. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Anyways, it's probably that cartwheel I did leading into the show. Hard to do a cartwheel in the suit. That should be the name of a rap album. Doing cartwheels in suits. T.I.'s new album dropping November 2nd. Anyways, looking at the final match of the week. That's right, we have our last place team in the standings, County Chicago, going up against Robert Kraft defense team coming off a really shitty win. If there is such a thing as a shitty win, that's what he got last week. But let's see if he can hold on this week and do well. Anyways, looking at the matchup here, we got 93.7 projected for Mark Flower, 114.4 projected for Brett Kohler. That's a big advantage. Let's see if that carries through. Joe Burrow going up against Cleveland, like that matchup for him. Carson Wentz going up against the Giants. Love that matchup for him. I'm going to give the advantage to Carson Wentz this week. Think he has a big week, although I think Joe has a nice day as well. We got to watch out for Myles Garrett. Coming off the end, watching your backside. Don't hit the backside. That hurts. That stings. Boom. Concussions out. Hey! Number 1 pick, LSU. Not as good this year without Joe Burrow, but I think Carson Wentz has a bigger day. Anyways, looking at the running back position, Mike Davis, David Montgomery, going up against Alvin Kamara and Kareem Hunt. That's a really great 1-2 punch for Kohler. Good to have Kamara back off the bye. Won last week without Kamara. Top player in fantasy. I think that's going to be really big for him. He's got a nice, juicy matchup, a rare matchup against Carolina. Kareem Hunt going up against Cincinnati. A lot of eyes will be in that game, that Cleveland-Cincinnati game. In this matchup, Kareem Hunt has a nice day. Looking at the wide receivers here, Chris Godwin, DJ Shark, Robert Gronkowski, James White. I said Robert. Who knows if his name's actually Robert? Could be Bob. Could be Steve. Could be Tim. Could be Tom. Could be Larry. But we call him Rob at the tight end position. James White for the Patriots. Like that for Kohler. But let's look at the matchups here for Mark Flower. Chase Claypool, Cooper Kupp, T.J. Hawkinson, J.D. McKissick. McKissick getting a lot of play recently for the Washington Redskins. I think that's a nice matchup, but he's got the advantage there in the flex position over James White. Now looking at the tight end, though, I think Gronk is really starting to find his groove. He's back. He's catching touchdowns. He's playing well. Hopefully Noah Fant comes back. Otherwise, that would be the play for Kohler. That would be the play. That would be the play. Todd Kiper Berman Jr. predicting that would be the play. But anyways, looking at the receiver position, Chris Godwin definitely an advantage over Chase Claypool with that tough matchup in Tennessee. Chicago, good defense, Cooper Kupp, but I just don't think DJ Shark is really that great. Still on the prowl for a wide receiver. Defenses, I'm going to give the advantage to Kohler. I think Texans got a tough matchup against Green Bay. Graham Gano, I think, is going to be the better kicker this week going up against Philadelphia. That game is tonight. So really a lot of eyes in that Cleveland game, a lot of eyes in that Philadelphia game. But I think I'm going to get the advantage. Rob Kraft defense team moves to himself to 5-2 and puts himself in good playoff position going into the year. Playoff run is in the air for him, and that's what's in the air this week, folks. I'm Todd Kiper Berman Jr. I hope you've enjoyed your Week 7 preview. Did a little bit of balloon stuff, did a little bit of stake projections. It's been great being here. Hope you all have a wonderful Week 7. Thank you again for watching for Todd's 10.